Oh, hello there, and welcome. Welcome to the series finale of Out of Depth Plays Hackway Heights, an Electric Bastionland RPG. This is it. This is episode 12. I'm so fucking pumped up. It is, it's been an incredible journey getting through all 12 of these episodes, but after tonight, we are taking Electric Bastionland, this incredible book, and we are putting it back on the shelf. And we're going to take a new game off the shelf. Play something new. But before we get to all that, we've got tonight. If you are watching the video version of this, the raw recording that's on YouTube, sometimes on Twitch, we had a little video intro there that included some pictures of our cast that was made by Sam. Gail, if you could put Sam's little details on the scroll at the bottom. Thanks, Sam. Sam also sent us 3 new pieces of artwork. I get to have some of my characters created, which was like also extra awesome. So in the intro, we had Babbitt, who was in episode 1, and a little bit in episode 2 before he went his separate ways. Our first kind of major NPC that the players befriended. And then we also had the owner of Devastator, man. The marble that crippled our party's finances, their dreams in one race. And then a favorite, I think, of everybody's. I don't want to speak out of turn, but Ralph, the Union of Structural Preservationists, who had a couple of episodes.
Union of Structural Integrity. I know that I messed that up for you.
Oh, I did
It's
I did the
me.
wrong.
I did
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
Union of Structural Integrity.
Yes.
There was Ralph
Wow.
of the Union of Structural Integrity, who I'll miss personally. But it was really cool getting to see those little trip down memory lane before we start the last episode of Hackway Heights. The characters we met along the way. Last week, I was sick, and I'm better. My voice, I don't know, could be the same, maybe a little better. But thinking back about the last episode, it was like a fever dream that I'm still kind of uncertain if things happened that I wanted to happen. And if things happened that I still am not sure if I understand, but I think that I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I'm going to enjoy what happens tonight as we wrap up these characters. Hopefully not in a casket, because it's looking pretty bad for one Nezbit, who is currently pinned down to the ground by a battle fork. If you're watching this, by the way, after this episode's over with, we're going to have a Q&A, so look for that on the YouTube, where we're going to ask each other questions, the hard-hitting personal questions about this campaign and what could have been, what would have been, and how much we loved and enjoyed it, hopefully, is everybody's opinion of how this went. So let's get into it. When we last left off, the 3 of you infiltrated Dick Skirts and Furs with the help of Octotron, a fictional character that Nezbit invented, but has now blossomed into reality as Prick, his sea urchin, the same sea urchin that in episode 1 was used to try and heal a wound, a bullet hole in his shoulder. That same sea urchin has now been fused with robotics, creating this Octotron creature, and that Sallie, Tremolo, and Nezzy must now move forward and destroy this villain, Mr. Dick, for robot kind.
You bring up a good point. So my DNA is now like in a bromidian, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If bromidian's what's happening right now.
If that's what's happening.
Right. So you guys you guys go to Mr. Dick's where you spray a lot of gasoline all over the place. I recall that. I remember that there was a lot of gasoline spraying, a lot of like trying to prove how manly you were by moving that gasoline around and failing miserably. And then like, I think there was like hope that we could just drag that gas around with us throughout this compound.
I got a jar of gas. Don't worry about
That's
it.
right. You use
Whatever.
Prick's old jar to get some gasoline, just in case. It's sitting there now next to you.
I'm sorry. I'm just picturing that now he's sitting there with a fork through him, pinning him to the ground, and he's like, "I still got my gas.
I still got a jar of gas.
I dare you guys to get close to me."
Hear me.
Surrounded by water.
That's very
Nezbit is that one guy who gets hit with the bowling ball, the one from Big Lebowski in the fight in the parking lot. He's that one that's crawling on the ground with his ass up in the air. Do you guys remember that scene? That one, it's just the real skinny one. That's him right now.
Donnie.
No. One of the
No,
Germans.
it's not Donnie,
One of the nihilists.
Nihilists.
Nihilists. You guys, I gotta stop saying, you all went edit that out. You guys went up the stairs, you've infiltrated this, you go into Mr. Dick's bedroom / office, which is a large pool. You can hear a radio in the background. Anita Indigo is announcing her candidacy for Alderman Oglesby's position. And it leads to this fury from Mr. Dick, and you can hear that the night that you all, night with a K night, that you all had run into a couple the day before, is also in the room. You get a jump on Mr. Dick, and Nezbit is able to fire his rifle twice before it runs out of ammo. And it should have lasted way longer, but it did not. It did not last long at all. It lasted twice, just long enough for you to fire two great shots that have got Mr. Dick on the run. But those two shots came right before the knight threw his giant battle fork across the length of this pool, pinning Nezzy to the ground. Tremolo is on this deck that runs the length of the pool, and he's firing at Mr. Dick. He just fired at him, just missed him. Mr. Dick is heading towards a ladder, and the knight is up on a balcony that's shaped like the bow of a ship. And the knight, Sallie, is right next to Nezbit, who's been gravely wounded, critically wounded, if one were using the language of the game itself. The knight rushes off. You see him kind of disappear away from the balcony. And he starts running to that left ladder, that left stairwell, so that he would be on the opposite of the pool from Mr. Dick and Tremolo. And he is rushing down those ladders, and you just hear the clanking of his armor as he's going down, and he's pulling a short sword from his hilt. "I'll get you, you damn bastards! Don't worry, Mr. Dick. These gutless, spineless fools will see the end of my sword run them through." And he starts rushing down the stairs. But it's a long pool. Sallie, you've got a little time. Mr. Dick spins around. And at the end of this deck, I think Tremolo, you're like 60 feet away from him at this point, because you went down it a little bit. He turns around and he sees you. And he's just like sopping wet. This completely nude mock shark. His one big paper plate sized googly eye rattling around. I should have just left you in prison to rot, you thankless coward. You think you're going to end me tonight? You think you're going to do what many men have tried, but few have succeeded? I know she sent you, and I'm going to send you back to her in a body bag. And he starts rushing down the deck towards you.
Well, he was on the ladder.
Or on the ladder. So he's back down the ladder. He's realized
so
what
he
the situation.
slides
So
down the
he
ladder?
slides down, or it's a stairwell, I guess. A stairwell.
Oh,
He
okay.
comes in. He comes down the stairs and starts running towards you. Now there's a great distance that he has to cover, so he's not going to be able to cover that in this turn. But this is the situation, folks. You all have one coming up one side towards Sallie, circling around the side, and then now you have Mr. Dick charging at Tremolo. What do you guys want to do right now?
My question is, at this very moment, they're both coming down the opposite stairwells.
Yes.
I'd pictured them as ladders before, but you could have absolutely said stairwells, and I totally didn't get it.
I probably said both. Let's be fair.
Where are the two of them right now in this moment when we have action that we can do? Are they both coming down, or are they?
They're
already
heading
off?
straight towards you. They've reached the deck, and they are running towards you. So he is now maybe 40 feet from you,
Okay.
Mr. Dick. And the other guy is not nearly as deep down the deck. He's like he still probably has the whole pool distance to go before he gets to the area where Sallie would be.
Yeah, so Tremolo has his pistol out in one hand, which only had one shot and has been fired. And he also had the bomb in his other hand. And he turns it over and clanks it on the wall to push the red button in and throws it at Mr. Dick.
Okay.
In front of Mr. Dick.
Yep. You throw it in front of Mr. Dick, and so I believe the damage on your bomb is a D8.
Yeah.
This is big.
7.
8.
Oh, 7. 7. Nasty. All right. So this bomb goes off, and it explodes the decking, and Dick falls into the water, disappears below the surface under all this flotsam and debris, buying you hopefully a little bit of time. But you don't see him. This like explosion and the smoke is settling. The smoke is kind of filling this room, making visibility a little difficult. You can just hear over the radio that like marching band and stuff in the background. It's a little bit chaotic right now. Sallie, you hear this huge explosion. And you see, like, just for a moment, you can see the mock shark where he was there, and then he's not there anymore. What are you doing, Gail?
How you said that the knight is at the other end of the pool. The pool is what we said, 80 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. And thinking about how fast he's moving, do I think he can get to me in this turn?
No.
Okay.
No. It's going to take him 2.
Okay. Then I am going to strangely take off my kind of hooded cape, and I do actually reveal the bag in that case strapped to my back for the first time. What Sallie looks like underneath all this, and so you can see that she's not as bulky as she seems. And then also her other bag of stolen parts. And I'm going to take out the fork and wrap Nezzy's.
You're going to pull it out of Nezzy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And
you now have a battle fork.
I do now have a battle fork because I don't really have any weapon.
Right.
So I'm going to take the battle fork out and apply pressure and wrap him up in my wrap up the wound really tight, even tying it off with my hooded
With
cape.
your cape or your coat or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like a poncho with a hood.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you're able to pull it out, and then you're able to kind of like press down on this,
Okay.
right? To like do that, and Nezzy is cognizant enough, like he's not unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So you could even tell him like, "Hey, push down on this."
Press down.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nezzy,
Press
what
down,
are you?
Nez. Press
Yeah,
down
no,
real
so-
hard.
So Nezzy, what are you thinking right now?
Well, as she's bending over me, if I don't make it out of this, please promise you're gonna take care of Barney. Please promise me that.
I will. I promise. We already said I would. I promised.
Go kill that fish.
Fuck yeah.
And then I'm gonna take the bleed and moan action for the rest of
The boy.
It's a
We
good
end
action.
this series just as we started it.
But with no prick to press
Yeah.
into the wound.
Right. Without an urchin to
Yeah.
plug the wound.
Okay. So, the knight is continuing to run down this deck. You know, Sallie, that you could either meet him on your next turn, or he is absolutely going to make it to you and it's going to be on. Okay? Nathan, Tremolo, you're still looking around and the water is very still.
Tremolo is going to start running
Okay.
towards where he blew up the hole.
Okay, you're going to the
I'm going to the hole.
Okay. All right.
He starts running towards there, and he starts to talk out loud to Octatron. Octatron, we need your help. We have your friends are waiting for your command, and Mr. Dick and some guy with a fork is starting to attack us. Please send them here to help us. They're waiting in the loading bay.
All
While
right.
he's running.
Okay, yeah. You're doing the Octatron, please help us. And I forgot that was a whole
Thing.
That was a roll we made.
Yeah.
Does Octatron actually know all, see all, watch all,
Yeah.
hear all?
Okay.
Yes,
Apparently
yes, he
it
does.
Is he talking to you? What was that character? I don't remember. Okay. All right. So you start running towards the hole. Gail, what do you want to do? Are you going to meet this guy halfway, or you?
Yeah, now that I know that Nezzy's a little bit okay, or at least okay for a second, I need to stop this guy because he's gonna get to us next. So I run up to him with the fork in one hand, but my stake in the other,
Yeah.
and I say, with the stake, I say, "Jump in and save Mr. Dick."
Okay. All right. Jump in and save Mr. Dick. I have to make a charisma save,
You have to make a charisma save.
and his charisma is 11.
Okay,
And I...
it's a decent charisma. It's better than mine.
It's a decent charisma. I am going to have you roll the dice.
Okay.
I trust you to roll these 3d6 and be honest.
Tremolo trusts you too, Sallie. Wink, wink, with a glass eye.
The glassy eye. You need to
5,
roll
4, 4. That's 13, right?
13, which means he fails.
He fails.
Okay, that was close. He stops and he turns towards the water. And he's like, I'm coming for you, Mr. Dick. And then he steps into the water and you hear thump as this armored guy sinks to the bottom of this,
Yeah.
of this pool. Tremolo,
I feel good about that.
why wouldn't you? That was a great idea. Tremolo, as you were running forward, Dick springs from the water, his fur darkened and scarred from this explosion, bits of splinters sticking out, that one massive googly eye circling wildly.
So wait
yeah.
a minute. So how's he jumping out? Is he gonna try to bite me?
Yeah.
Okay. Tremolo was expecting this. And does he have a second that he could say something to Sallie and Nezzy before he does what he's about to do? Or is there no second for that?
Before I attack you right now?
Yes. There's no time. But Tremolo was doing this on purpose for this very moment to happen. So he's ready for this and he's going to do something. I just didn't know if he has time to say something while this is happening. There's no time. It's fine.
You want to be able to say something, is that right?
Yeah.
All right.
Roll a dex. See if you can say it quickly enough. I mean, I always love turning to dice when it's like,
it's fine. No, there's no time. There's no time for it. It's fine.
Okay,
There's no time. There's no time for it.
Okay.
That's not really what he wants to do. He was hoping that he would be able to jump over the hole, and then that's when it would happen. So he'd have time to say something. But there's no time. So he jumps at him. He's been waiting and looking for this, and as his jaws open, Tremolo jumps into his mouth, straight in, as quickly as possible.
Okay.
embraces the bite.
Embraces the bite.
He wanted to have his goodbyes, but Mr. Dick came quicker than he thought.
Okay. You have the helm, which gives you a +1 armor. So I rolled a 6. So you'll subtract 6 or 1 from 6. That's 5. You have 1 hit point. So that's 4 goes towards your strength score.
Okay.
Your strength, I believe, is 13.
Yeah.
All right.
So -4.
So you're now a 9. It's not all lost yet. You need to roll 3d6. And if you can get under a 9, you're not unconscious. You can still do shit.
Seven.
Are you serious? 3d6.
3d6, and I did it the right way, not the modifier.
Not that one way, that one game. We won't. That didn't make the edit, but there was one game where some D's.
I accidentally put in the modifier instead of, because I'm doing everything.
You rolled a 7. Okay.
Yeah, rolled a 7.
All right, you're gonna get another turn. Oh, that's huge. That's huge.
I will say, my whole point of what I was doing, I didn't realize no matter what I was gonna get hurt. I was hoping that he'd be able to jump past the feet and just be gulped, so he's not actually hurt at all. But you didn't go for that, so it's fine. He's still alive. Yeah.
All right. I will say he's kind of built like you are. Nothing goes down anywhere.
Oh right, yeah.
He's still right. It's like you. Like he just kind of gnaws on it and it falls out of his mouth. It's just worse.
Yeah.
All right. So Tremolo, you're getting crunched. This is crazy. So that's happening. You're getting crunched, and this knight is underwater. Sallie, you are. You're good. What do you want to do? I mean, it's not good. You're
It's
watching
not good.
Tremolo's getting gummed. You probably don't know that Tremolo is still with us, really.
I'm freaked out. I see Mr. Dick, and I'm used to working with a pitchfork.
Yeah?
I'm betting a battle fork isn't that much different. I'm gonna
No.
throw this at Mr. Dick.
You're just gonna, like, fucking
Launch it.
sail it.
Yes. I'm here to save my guys. That is what I'm here for. And one of my guys is in that mouth, and I gotta kill this thing.
You're
that's
gonna have to
chomp
move
him.
a little bit.
Okay.
Because we're, like, on the opposite side of the pool room right now.
Yeah.
Right. But it's a little far because you're on the same plane, right?
Yeah. How
went to
wide
go
is
meet
it?
him. So I'm thinking you're like 40 to 50 feet away from him if you move
If I move.
to get closer. So yeah. Fuck it, man. You throw this thing, you arc it.
I'm like, I can do something if you
I
want.
kind of don't care. Like it's too cool. Like fuck it. You know what I mean? Like what are we doing?
At first, I was just like, oh, she couldn't throw this. I'm like, wait a second, she's worked her main.
You guys are already in bad
Her
shape.
main tool is a pitchfork. This is a fork.
Yeah,
I can do
it's
this.
something that you're used to. So
Yeah.
like it's just a nicer version of something you're used to. So you have that moment where you're like flashback to you on the farms with the pitchfork, and if this was like a 1920s like Charlie Chaplin film, we'd have that superimpose of like the old fork with the new fork, you know, just kind of bleed over, and like when a guy looks like a chicken, but then he's not a chicken anymore, and you throw this battle fork, javelin style, sails through the air over this pool, glimmering in the air, and you need to roll a d8.
D8.
So this thing has as much damage as a bomb.
Yeah, it's special.
Well, you have little bombs.
Well, the bomb does.
know.
It doesn't actually have the same damage. It does d8 to one thing, whereas a bomb could have done d8 plus it blew up the. It's a range. It's a area effect.
7.
You rolled a 7.
I rolled a 7. Go sevens. Triple sevens tonight. Because you rolled a 7 on your strength save, right? And then 7 on the bomb damage and 7 on the fork damage.
So you throw this battle fork through the air as Tremolo is getting crunched, and it impales Mr. Dick through the back and exits out the front, embedding into the wall. And he slumps over, propped up by this fork.
Oh, gosh.
And Tremolo spills out of his mouth alive. And Mr. Dick is now dead.
Nezzy cackles in laughter.
Blood gushes.
He's coughing blood.
Like the blood from your stomach just like spurts every time you laugh, like this little fountain. You can just see her jacket getting more and more soaked with blood.
I knew I'd outlive him.
Oh my gosh. I go to Tremolo to carry him out.
Yeah, and Tremolo, go ahead.
When Tremolo goes down and he gets up on his feet and he's like holding himself up on the wall. He pulls out his knife and he just sticks him a couple of more times.
Just keeps cutting
the
fabric off of him. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot he's got a knife too.
Oh God, thank you, Sallie. My plan didn't go as planned. I think of mockeries as real too much. I need to accept. I don't think my mouth is real, and that no mockery's mouth is a real mouth. We don't have bellies.
They're real mouths. You just don't have a real esophagus, Tremolo. And that's just fine.
As we said that
That's
to
just
Tremolo,
fine.
it would have been strike 3. But I'm glad.
I know. I was about to say. I almost thought about saying strike 3, Tremolo.
Can you imagine if
Don't talk
Nezzy,
about
like,
mockeries.
when you jumped into its mouth, if Nezzy would call out, It doesn't have real mouths. You're a fucking mockery.
You're a fucking mockery, man.
I tried to tell you before, and now that I'm about to die, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You're not
It was
real.
a cool plan if any of it would have been right, but it was not well conceived when you just hit a fabric wall.
I was
and
so
you get chomped up.
I was a little sad because I was like, oh, he had like a plan or whatever, and then you were like, he jumps into his mouth. I'm like, oh, but his mouth is like your mouth. It goes nowhere.
Into a wall.
Just as bad.
Well, I mean, even if he had like tried to slice at the same time, all of his skin had that armor on it, right? So you probably can't slice through it. But
Yeah.
whatever. Great job,
Sallie with the fork.
No, we all took hits to him, guys. Like we all did.
It was a
something.
team effort.
Oh my gosh, I killed a guy.
Yeah, you've as you're like going over to pick up Tremolo, who doesn't have to be picked up. He's still physically capable of walking on his own accord.
I like a good carry sometimes.
Like a good carry.
Well, I'm gonna have to carry Nezbit too, but let's just get you out as quickly as possible. So I just
Yeah.
kind of help him move faster as he limps along.
What about the office? Do we not want to check out his office?
All right, go get Nezzy downstairs. And with the robots, I'll go check it out. Okay, just real fast. And I'm coming right back.
Thank you. He scampers.
Yep.
And I scamper around the other direction again. And
Yeah. As
up
you're
the
doing so,
stairs.
you can see that guy in the armor is just standing in one spot, no longer moving forward.
No more
Killed
bubbles.
2 guys.
No more bubbles.
Guys.
Sally
my
got
gosh.
a lot of blood on her hand tonight.
He might
Technically,
have
he killed himself.
Yeah. You suggested that he
Thanks.
saved someone and he did not succeed.
He didn't succeed. He was just really bad at it. Okay, I'll take it.
You bound your way up the stairs. It's a little creepy now. The radio is on and everything. And as you are kind of looking around, you can see that there's like this huge bed with these like hammocks around it, this netting, and large mugs made from that look like in the shape of pineapples with little umbrellas. There's a bar with lots of rum, and you can see the radio is on, and you hear an announcer on the radio saying, what is this? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, something seems to be emerging from the ground. And you then hear like a cacophony over the radio of like metal and screams as there is, it sounds like metal footsteps
Oh my gosh.
and people running. He's like, there's some kind of, it's hard to describe, like a toy soldiers, and I think that those look like cameras. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have to go, and the radio kind of cuts out.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
Was that like really loud for all of us to hear, like it was before?
If you're down the stairs, right?
I'm over by Nezzy around this point.
Yeah.
Pretty close to Nezzy.
Yeah, you heard that then, yeah.
So I heard it too then? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Barney's there. Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
What are they doing?
Are there any papers? I doubt it. This is like his bedroom.
Not here in the bedroom, no.
Okay.
Sadly.
I'm gonna slide down the stair rail and come back as quickly as possible.
So
We
the
gotta
three
go.
of
We
you
gotta
there.
go. We gotta go. And to help. I mean, this is like a weird spiral. So I think it's gonna take all of Tremolo and I to get Nezzy down and out.
Yeah. You all get down the stairway where Nana Dick, the grandmother picture portrait is. As you get down there, you see like more of those robots are running through the hallways, and you can see other people that are here in this place are running from these robots as they are getting attacked.
Oh my god.
Like the hallways are now busy with people that are running by, but the robots don't seem to be paying you three any attention.
Octatron, what is happening?
The reckoning is here.
Is that in our
You
head?
have led the way. Yeah, this is what he.
Oh, that's in his helmet. That's right.
In
That's
my
right.
helmet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's why I'm doing this.
Hey, Gail. Octatron's talking now, so
Sorry.
shut the fuck up.
He's taking over the world and shit. Come on.
This is good shit. All right, we're talking good content here.
I wasn't questioning it. I was getting freaked out, Jay.
It's happening. The reckoning is here. You all have led the way. Now there will be peace in Hackway Heights under the rule of Octotron.
That sounds great. It doesn't look very peaceful right now, Octatron.
First war, then peace.
It's not really how that usually works, but
Tremolo,
okay. So
Tremolo, tell him about Barney. Tell him about Barney out in the parade, and that he likes to fix robots and mechanical things, and that he's like a healer for robots, and that make sure that he doesn't get hurt. He's
Octatron,
do you
I
hear
can
that,
absolutely
Octatron?
hear Sallie.
Oh,
yes,
good.
You're getting all of this, right? Yes.
He's with Anita Indigo in the big white carriage in the parade on the streets. Just he's a kid, but he's really good with his hands and with fixing things.
And his father?
Is Nezbit.
Father is me. Prick. Do you remember when I used to call you Prick? Do you remember that side of yourself?
I must go lead my people.
Prick. If you remember what it was like to be in that jar, you know that this isn't you. This isn't what you do. Please, Prick.
I have traded in the old jar for a new one, and this one yields me power. I am sorry, old friend.
Prick, I love you, my friend. Don't do this.
David, blood dripping out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Make a charisma save. Perhaps charisma check, maybe the most important charisma check of the game.
That is a 7.
Oh my gosh!
777.
Vegas, baby!
Let's get it. All right. If you all can make your way to the street, meet me there.
We're on our way.
And
I just want to say, Tremolo says, I'm really glad I took my helmet off and turned the volume up so everyone could just hear him, because it would have been awkward for me to go back and forth with the whole,
Yeah, you put it on
"Oh, I
speaker.
love
That was a
you.
really good
You
idea.
remember,
It was a really
the
good
love
idea.
that we
Yeah.
had.
Very good
so
feature. Very
if
good
we
feature,
could
that
if we
one.
could just make sure that everybody visually sees it, that whole scene was like bloody rum soaked Nezbit, like cheek to Tremolo trying to listen in on one side, just like blood kind of splurting out onto Tremolo's glassy black eyes
Yeah,
as
that's
he's
gonna
trying to
kind
appeal
of
to Octatron.
change the color of your fur a bit as well.
So just
Wine, blood.
think of that scene like that.
By the way, do we see?
yeah.
We don't see anything in here in that little lobby kind of place, or as we're leaving, that's like a first aid kit or anything.
Is there a first aid kit?
Yeah.
Are you looking for like green herbs and red herbs to combine together
Yes.
or to help this guy out?
Or Babbitt was a good sewer.
Is that a
He did
Resident
good
Evil
job.
reference?
Yes.
Was it a Resident Evil reference?
It was a Resident Evil reference. Okay, great.
Resident.
No, there's no
Bastard.
there's no first aid kit in here.
Okay. I'm keeping my eyes peeled as we head out. I gotta do something.
Okay, where are you guys heading? Are you guys like going back the way you came?
Yeah, I think
So
out to
the
the pit, right?
parade,
Oh,
the parade, was
It's
it
right
stopped?
outside.
Was it stopped? And now, like it's attacked by robots, but
Yeah,
was the procession over, or was everybody like, because they stopped to listen to Anita speak.
yeah.
She finished, but then like, so where is everybody? So if we are we able to come outside and see everybody there and be
Yeah.
able to try to go to them, or
Or do
It
we
is.
know?
It is a little ways north of where you're at right now, towards where like the Hackway explosion was.
Okay. Yeah, guys, do we actually just want to just go upstairs?
we could try that. I mean, we don't know the pathway, but it's if everything is being distracted by these robots. Because did the robots' behavior change after our conversation, or are the
Not
robots
towards
still
you
going?
all. I mean,
Yeah,
they're just attacking other
Yeah.
denizens of this
right.
underground layer.
okay. So and it's all the ones that that work here, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Do
Okay.
some of them are small? Well, I mean, like the ones that you guys had asked to come with you,
Mhm.
they're going at it. You can see other ones that are made from like chainsaws and shit, just like racing down the hallway. Like some of these are not.
Oh my gosh.
It's not very nice. Okay, so Tremolo runs up to two of the ones that were down there that we talked to before.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hey guys, we know where there's some more of Mr. Dick's men upstairs. Can you lead the way?"
Okay. Yeah. And they start marching you towards.
We carry Nessie.
Yeah. You guys are like Nezzy's kind of slumped over. Every movement is like death to Nezbit.
How is it? What do we say? Is it like how long does Nezzy have in the game? Is it like an hour, 2 hours?
I thought it was an hour.
You have an hour max. Yeah.
Jeez.
Max? Oh no. I thought it was just an hour. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, this is episode 12.
No,
It
no,
is max.
Yeah, all right.
You got an hour.
So, for one thing, I don't know why Tremolo hasn't thought about this before, maybe because he's a mockery, but he takes his scarf off and wraps it around Nezzy
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and pulls it tight as he can.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight because he's pretty strong.
Not as strong as he used to be.
That's right. As he
Oh, that's right.
Um,
Hey, I'm the strongest one now.
and ties it in a knot and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So now you have an hour and 1 minute.
Really, all you guys are getting him is he has an hour still. He's just able to do a little bit more than what he would have been able to during that hour.
Yeah, the bleeding's just internal now.
Yeah.
It's just filling
You're
up
keeping his
here.
guts from falling out.
Yeah.
It's just,
God.
you've plugged up a dam and it's just like filling up. Nobody listening to us can see us do this with our hands. As I do that. He's just, right, audio listeners?
The level goes up.
So these Bill and Ted looking robots, they start leading you all down this hallway, rounding a corner where there's a stairwell. In the stairwell, there's a door that is taped up, and it says, "Do not enter under any circumstances."
Oh, so that's the secret door that goes to a dressing room, maybe.
And
Possibly. I think we
They're-
could just kick through that piece of shit.
they're marching past that door to go up some stairs to take you guys up.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Do not enter.
Does anyone want to look at that door?
I do. I really do.
Yeah. Time is of the essence, Gail.
So wait,
Sallie-
okay. So
Sallie, what are you
I can see
doing?
them going up some stairs right there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Tremolo. Take Nezzy. Take Nezzy.
But why are you doing this? What We don't need to see what's behind that door.
Yes, I do.
It is episode 12.
I take out my pitchfork tongs.
Oh,
And-
just the ends of the pitchfork.
Yep.
You rip up this tape.
Speaking of, while I'm dragging Nezzy up the stairs. Well, speaking of, why didn't you take that really awesome fork that would have been like, had special powers and shit?
Oh, you're right. I'll go back and get it.
That's what I'm doing. Here, I just forgot the fork. Run up the
the fork.
stairs.
In fact,
And she turns
get
around towards that
robots.
door.
Help them carry Nezzy. Okay.
Yes.
I open the door.
You take on whoever comes. The other one, take him. Yeah, I'm very strong. But I'm not very tall.
I didn't get enough sleep last night.
I kind of got hit up by a shark earlier. So,
Got crushed by a
not
shark.
feeling too great. This arm's actually a little wonky.
It's just like, hey,
It's never going to be the
by
same again.
little bits of fabric. All right, Gail. They start moving up the stairs, and the music from like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom starts kind of playing. That kind of like, and like somebody's about to get their heart pulled out.
Yep. Yep.
And you look at this door. What do you do?
I open it.
Hell yeah, you do.
It's
kick
Nana
in this
Dick, isn't
door.
it?
Huh?
It's Nana Dick. She's been locked up this whole time with Alzheimer's.
It's like
and
Psycho.
dementia.
Like that's. It's actually Mr. Dick dressed up as his grandmother.
Only one side of his psyche died.
It was transferred to this one in the rocking chair. You kick open this door and you need to make a dex save.
Oh gosh.
To be fair, it said do not enter.
Under
Do not
any
open.
circumstances, do you not enter this room.
Okay, I'm good. 9.
Oh, you kick open this door, and when you do, you feel this like vacuum suction pull you into like almost into the room, and you see this rift in space before you. This like intense white blue light is just like sucking in everything, like all that tape and the stuff that you ripped off. You're definitely gonna lose like those tongs. They pull out of your hand and fly off
As I grab.
into this
Yeah.
into this rift as you like grab onto the frames of the door
Why
to
is
keep
this
yourself from getting
here?
sucked in. The door is rattling on its hinges as it's getting like sucked towards this rift in space.
Can I try and close it?
Yes.
I try to close it.
Make another dex check.
Okay, gosh. You've been waiting this whole time to let me fail a dex. Not today. That's what we say to death. Not today. 10.
Oh my god. Ugh. What could have been on the other side? You close the I love that we took a moment to do this.
Oh, we
though.
suck Sallie into the mothership game. That's what we do. Across space and time.
Gail, spoilers. I didn't make that announcement yet.
I thought we did.
No.
Excellent.
Yeah, you are able to close the door and you turn around. I imagine Tremolo is just like halfway up the stairs looking at you disapprovingly.
Oh yeah, that was really worth it, Sallie. Great job looking into a portal.
You knew that was a portal to some. Okay, let's go.
You guys make your way up the stairs. You're in Dick's Skirts and Furs right now. You come out under the escalator.
Okay.
You're in the building. You can see out on the streets through the glass. You can see people running as these robots are marching on the streets.
Brick, we're here. We came up. What do you need? What do you want?
And when you say that, there's an explosion in the street. The entire road explodes and Octotron emerges from this crater and lands on the ground. And you see with one hand through the glass doors, you see him reach out towards you inside Dick's skirts and furs. Come to me, old friend.
I hobble my way over.
You make your way, blood seeping through your abdomen wound, towards Octotron. And the day, this wintry day, it's starting to snow again. And you see little flakes of snow coming, and they're melting as soon as they touch Octotron, who's boiling hot. Steam rising off of this tank. And he says, "You're hurt."
Not sure if I'm gonna make it out of this one, prick.
You need help.
I do. Can you help?
I will get you your son.
Thank you. Thank you, prick. He's all that matters right now.
Nezbit, if you live through this day, you still need help.
I've needed help my whole life, but I'm too dense to find it.
I'll do this for you, but you have to promise me.
Promise you what?
You have to change.
You know what they say about old dogs, prick. I'll change. I need to change.
It's going to be a new world, old friend.
How do you know this new world's going to be better than the old one?
I don't. And he marches off down the road.
Tremolo's watching and just thinks, that scarf is ruined.
Do you say that out loud? I go, you know, you can get
Yeah.
a new one at Dick's Skirts and Furs. They have nice little fox and mink in there.
And that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, what's up? My name is Jay. This is Out of Depth Plays Hackway Heights. Thank you all so much for listening. This is the last episode of this series. After this series, like I said at the top of the video, at the top of this recording, we're going to be putting this game away and we're going to play a new game after our break. We're going to take a little break for ourselves so that I can write some new shit for the next game and also not have to edit these amazing videos. Speaking of editing the videos, this is a raw recording if you're watching this. We record these raw so that you can see all the mistakes and the weird flubs and the burps and everything else that comes with recording this way. And then I edit it down into a nice tight episode that you can listen to as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is that you want to get your podcast from. It's got sound effects. It's got music. I'm really proud of everything that we've done on those episodes. And if you like those episodes, if you like watching this, if you like any of the stuff that we do, we would appreciate some support, because we use that support to pay our collaborators, pay our artists, whoever works with us. We try to reward them for their efforts, their time, because their time matters to us. So if you would like to help support us, there's a couple ways you can do that. You could just recommend our show to other people. Just get the word out there. Let people know that, hey, there's this really cool show where they're playing like weird fucking game, and there's robots and mock sharks that murder people with its mouth, and tell people about it. Just tell people about it. That we would appreciate that probably more than anything. But if you are in a position to where you can do more of that financially, then I would like to direct you to our Patreon at patreon.com/getoutofdepth, where you can subscribe at a variety of different tiers. Another big cough there as I try to feel better. You can subscribe at a variety of tiers. Whatever it is that you feel comfortable with is whatever we feel comfortable with. Whatever you feel like doing, it's up to you, man. We have a couple of patrons already, which is more than we had when we started this, which is blowing my mind. This game right here, if you're listening to this, most of my notes from Hackway Heights are going to be released in a PDF form, so you could run Hackway Heights at your house with your friends. It's got a ton of tables for random encounters. It's got a ton of locations, many of which my players did not even see over the course of these 12 episodes. Like, never even heard of what was going on in there. You will have access to all of that, and you'll probably learn a little bit more about what was going on behind the scenes of this game that they are not going to know when this is over with. So that is available to everybody who is our subscriber at Patreon. That's it. Oh my gosh. I think I'm getting like a little better at this, but I can't tell.
I just want to give
episodes.
one last shout out to Bastionland.
Oh, if you love this game, Chris McDowell is the guy who made this game, and he's an independent game designer. You can go to Bastionland Press and get it there. There's a lot of different places. If maybe your game store has a copy of it, it's just one book. You don't have to buy 50 books. And the book looks thick-ish. Like 80 of those pages are the failed careers. Like that, the amount of information in this, it's such a great book, and it's great for players who are wanting to introduce their friends to role playing, because it requires very little information overload and dumps of stats and stuff. It's so simple, and it gets people into playing. It gets people active in role playing games. And I hope you, if you're listening, if you give it a try, you get to tell really cool stories with your friends, and I think you will. Stories and memories that you'll remember forever. Like I am going to remember this forever. Okay. You see Octotron start crunching its way down the street, the pavement cracking under its feet, and he starts marching forward. You can see other robots running, and you can see people like ducking into buildings. You can see in these large buildings near you people's faces pressed up against the glass, wide-eyed, like, what the hell is going on? What do you guys want to do?
I think Nezzy is just trying to creep closer to where Octotron is running, because he knows that Barney's in that direction.
Yeah, Tremolo scampers up to Nezzy. What's happened? What's he doing?
I think he's going to save my boy.
Do we see? So lots of people are running, I'm sure, screaming and not happy. I'm still looking for medical assistance. Do I see like somebody treating a person or anything like that? Is there a doctor in the house, in the streets, actually? But you know what I mean.
Do you just yell for a doctor?
Doctor! Yes. Do I need to make a charisma check?
Reach into your bag and roll a d6 and see if you can pull a doctor out of it.
It's just to pull a doctor out.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Or
you're
a
yelling
first
for a
aid kit?
doctor, and you see somebody in an alleyway, and they are like waving you over. Hurry over this way.
This way first.
It's a good
Tremolo
thing
has-
I happened to be here with this massive doctor bag. I'm off duty. I was enjoying the parade.
He's been stabbed, and he's really hurt.
It looks like he was stabbed several times.
Yes.
It was one time, but it was a fork.
Those
It was
damned
with a
robots, is it because of them?
No, actually.
A separate
Nezzy-
incident.
Yes.
Rough day. Rough day.
Very. Nezzy, I'm gonna look for Barney. Okay, but let the doctor take care of you. Okay. Can't. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
What's your name, pal? He says as he's like opening up his doctor's bag and like opening up your shirt. Oh, yeah, spreading open the Born to Be Wild jacket to reveal this sun ravaged skin.
Nez is getting a bit delusional, so he just kind of looks over his shoulder and goes, Barney.
Well, Barney, you're going to be just okay. And he's like stitching you up a little bit.
Tremolo, when you guys went over to the doctor, he ran straight towards the robot, towards Octatron. He's following Octatron through the crowd to get to Barney and Anita.
People are like spreading out, giving him a wide berth. You're like the one car that's following the ambulance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or maybe in size, cat following an ambulance, more like it.
Like a cat. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's a very fast cat. Nezzy, as this guy's kind of working on it, he was like, I was looking for my son. We hadn't seen each other in a long time. We thought we'd meet over this parade, and we've been separated.
Yeah. I'm looking for my son too.
Well, if I see him, maybe if we can get this stitched up, you're going to need more medical attention than I can give you here today, my friend. I'll be able to get you. I'll buy you some time.
So I'm not gonna die?
Oh, I mean, it's on the table. I'm just saying I'm buying you some time. You need to go to a hospital. The idea that there would be it's kind of a miracle that I'm even here able to do this much. But the idea that I could just magically make you better so that you don't die it's beyond the scope of this story, really.
Do what you can, Doc. Stitch me up. I still got a long day ahead.
And you hear a voice from across the street. Dad?
Barney?
And you have that Barney moment of like Barney, and you see this like big guy in a suit that looks like it's too big for him. And he starts rushing over. He's got this big baby face. He goes, "Hey, Dad."
Hey, Barnacle. How are you? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you safe?
And the doctor's like, "Don't listen to him. He's been gravely wounded, son." And this large man, who's like kind of blocking the shadow blocking the light of the sun now. You can't really see his face. He's like a silhouette. Is looking down at you, and he kind of comes down close as he squats. And you see the face of Babbitt.
Yeah! That it!
I got to see his dad.
You look familiar.
You don't remember the faces of people you saved before? You old lug, how are you?
Sorry, you got that sequence jacket that's stained really bad with what looks to be like Merlot, and I just didn't recognize you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. With my tattoos covered up, it's That's all people usually see, huh?
Around the corner of the alley. I'm like, he's still not here yet, Nessie. And oh, Babbitts!
Yeah. He goes, "Oh, you're still alive.
Babbitt,
That's good."
how'd you know
You
to
didn't think I
bring?
wouldn't be?
How'd you know to bring Barney over here?
And he looks up at Sallie and then back at his dad, the doctor, and he says, he like just kind of makes a face at Sallie. I don't know what to say. I think he's losing it.
Nessie, it's okay. Barney's right over here. He'll be here in a minute. You just lay still.
And Nezzy
Tremolo.
kind of
Oh,
starts
go ahead.
starts kind of humming an old sailor tune that he's got in his head.
Like an old shanty tune. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Tremolo, you're falling behind, and from the fog of madness and debris, this horse emerges, and you see Anita Indigo with 6 shooters, and she is firing towards robots and dinging them, and on the back of her horse is Barney. And you can just see her teeth are bared like a dog's mouth, like a wild animal. And you can, this may be the first time you've ever seen this side of her, this kind of rage and fury in her face. She's been so calm and cool in so many of the conversations that you've had with her in the last week. But now you see somebody unhinged. Somebody who looks like they had something that is now being ruined.
He takes a second to really see that.
Yeah.
But then he flags her down. Anita! Anita! It's Tremolo! Anita!
She is currently occupied with what she doesn't realize is Octatron. And when she sees it, the horse kind of skids as she pulls the rein on the small film of snow that is starting to build up. And she puts one arm around Barney behind her back and pulls him tight. And she fires her 6-shooter at Octatron. You see the bullet ping off of Octatron's visage as it gets a little closer to possibly puncturing that glass bowl that Prick is inside of. And her eyes kind of dart for a second and spot you waving your arms at her.
Anita! Stop! Octatron! Please stop! This is Anita. This is our friend Anita and Nezzy's son Barney here on the horse. Please stop! Both of you, put your weapons down, please!
Octatron turns to you and says, "I have to get the boy."
Yes, and this is a good way to do it. You could harm him. Please. Just give her a chance.
I am rolling for both of these people to see which one, if maybe both of them, yield or hesitate due to your And Octatron does stop. But Anita doesn't. And she fires again. This time, the bullet goes wide as the horse kind of bucks up. And Octatron
Anita.
turns towards her, and you say,
Anita, if you don't stop right now, all of these robots will tear you limb from limb. There's no way out of this. The only way out is to stop, and for all of us to communicate. Stop!
all right, Tremolo, you got to make a charisma roll. It's just her.
3d6.
3d6, and you're trying to be, what's your charisma score?
10. Got an 8!
All
That's
right.
good, right? Gotta be under it, right? 8.
Yeah. She hesitates for a moment, looking around, and for a moment, she sees the world as it is, as you describe it. Right? She had kind of tunnel vision, thinking that like she could storm through this. And now she's looking around and realizing that this battle may be lost. What do you want to do?
Anita, I'll start with the good news. Mr. Dick is absolutely dead. We murdered him, so that's done. Good on all of us, including you. Bad news is, it kind of started a chain reaction with all this robot stuff. But you don't have to worry about Mr. Dick anymore. What you need to worry about right now is this is Octatron. And Octatron is best friends with Nezzy. And he's here to retrieve Barney. You have to hand Barney over. You
Her
have
shoulders.
You have one today, but it's the whole chessboard has basically been tipped over at the same time. So why don't we just take a second and rethink things? Don't act too harshly.
Her shoulders slump, and one leg comes over the saddle. She drops to the ground. She turns around to Barney, pulls him down. And puts Barney between her and Octatron. And you can just see seething in disgust as she hops back up onto the horse. And she circles around for a moment, almost like she wants to do something, but she doesn't know what action she could take right now.
Anita, you can come with us. You can come with us and you can be safe from all of this. Right now. If you choose to remain our friend.
This isn't the world that I remembered. Perhaps we'll meet again, Tremolo. And she rides off.
Hey there, Barney. Looks like
Hey.
you could use a hug. Hey. Gives Barney a hug.
A
He's
mangled hug.
Yeah. He's like, hey.
One arm. Hey.
Yeah.
Don't
One
mind
arm
that.
just kind
Yeah, I'll
of
stick it
turned.
up there.
Yeah.
There you go.
You flop this dead arm on this kid's shoulder. Oh. And he looks over at Octatron. He goes, Is that my dad's sea urchin?
Yeah, that's Prick. He likes to go by Octatron now, because he's mostly robot. Octatron is Bonnie.
And in the distance, you all hear explosions and gunfire and the sound of sirens.
Does this mean that we're able to calm down the war part and start with the peace? It seems like most every human has stopped resisting because they're mostly dead. But the ones that are still alive are not really not resisting anymore.
Take Barney to Nezbit and tell him I'm sorry. And Octatron starts to march off into the smoke.
Sorry for what?
Barney looks at you and says, I told that lady I wanted to lead a life of crime, but I don't know. I'm kind of regretting it now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sucks. Really. It freaking sucks. Here,
You turn
let's
around.
get you to your dead.
You turn around and Barney is walking with you. Nezzy, the doctor, kind of puts some gauze on your abdomen, and he stands up. Sallie, and he looks at you, kind of pulls you aside while Babbitt is like watching over Nezbit, and he says, "This man, he needs to get to a doctor.
Aren't you a doctor?
He needs to get to a hospital specifically."
Oh, where's the nearest hospital?
And he looks up and around, and he says, I don't know where we are anymore.
Actually, where are we?
Yeah, and you look around and you're in this alley, and this terrible feeling comes over you that you realize, like, you don't know Hackway Heights at all.
I don't. I've been in prison the whole time and then out in the deep country before that.
And he says, well, I know the Hackway it's over that way, right? And the Pedway, I don't remember.
Do you know what part of town so that I could ask? Like, do you know a couple of hospitals? Maybe I could ask someone.
And Babbitt comes up and he sees that you guys are talking, and he says, I can help you guys.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, Babbitt. What can you do?
I can help you carry this guy until we find a hospital.
Thank you, Babbitt. I'm real worried about him. Okay,
As they're having this conversation, Nezbit, you hear, Dad?
Huh? Is that Barnacle? Is that you?
And you feel this small body of a 12-year-old boy brush up to your chest, and the pressure doesn't feel good, but you don't really feel much of anything anymore. Everything's kind of dulled with pain.
I try and grip him as tight as I can and just say, "Are you okay? Did Did she do anything to you? Are you okay?
No, I'm okay, Dad. What's wrong with my dad? And you hear this voice, Sallie, call up.
Oh, Barney, he got real hurt, real bad. Um, he's we need to get him to a hospital. Do you know hospitals around here?
And he looks around and he goes, I'm not sure what street we're on anymore.
Me either. All right, let's just which way did you say was you thought the Hackway was, Doctor?
And Babbitt's father, the doctor, he looks at you and he says, it has to be north. That's where the parade ended, right?
Okay. Well, then let's go that direction, and I would think that we'd find more people or something, and then we could ask.
So, so Tremolo, he did about half that distance with Barney, and then he sent Barney on his way, and then he went around and he's looking for any vehicle, or even better, if there's like one of those kinds of vehicles that have been down in the tunnels that are driven by a robot or something. Because I know like robots are going everywhere, so I didn't know if that was a possibility. But
You can find like an automobile that had like a float trailer to it.
okay, he jumps in that.
And it's got like flowers, and it is a float for Cradle to Cane woodworking shop.
Oh,
So you can see like this like baby cradle in the back, with like a big paper mache baby in it with a big rattle.
So he checks to see if everything is there that he can make it run, keys and stuff.
Yeah.
And then because he's too small really to do much, he stops a robot that is, like an automaton robot, and says, Nezbit needs your help. I need you to drive this.
And the automaton stops, and you can see it, like it has like these antenna on it, and you see this like electrical current going between the antenna, like it's communicating with something else. And it goes to the car and sits in the driver's seat and awaits.
All right. I shut the door and then run around it, get in the passenger side seat. Okay, you're going to want to take a U-turn here and go back this way, just down the alley here.
And you hear, as you guys start moving, you can see in the rear view mirror the cradle on the float that's trailered to the back is like rocking now. And as it's rocking, there's like some kind of mechanism that creates a as you all make your way,
turn the corner down the street.
turn the corner.
I got a quick question about this too, though.
Yeah, man.
It seems like people are losing their memory. I don't know if it's just because there's too much going on, or if it's something else. But is it affecting Tremolo as well, or?
It's not affecting. It's not necessarily people losing their memory. It's just
Trauma,
and it's also, that's the city. Is that it's hard to remember where you're at unless you're on a path. And if you're in it all day, every day, then you can kind of make your way to where you need to go, where you need to be. But for everybody, that entire pattern has been disrupted. And suddenly this city is just a network of buildings and streets and alleys that, for right now, for everybody, including you, feels a little suffocating. But
Is Nezzy feeling a bit more lucid from after getting a bit of care, or is he still like?
it comes and goes. You can play it how you want, but it's like you can kind of bleed back and forth into it.
Literally. Bleed.
Yes.
Well, we drive around the corner with a frickin' baby crying on a float. Huge
Yeah, I'm
float.
sure we hear this and go like, "What?"
Yeah,
the...
yeah. You see this baby float pull up at the end of this alley.
Tremolo pops up. Hey guys,
Squeeze
I got
the
a ride.
little
Oh,
horn
okay.
by the by the side mirror. Bing, bing, bing.
Babbitt's dead. Let's get on. Let's get a ride.
All right.
Gets
Everybody
some
hops
help.
either on the car or on the float. In the
I'll get on the float because
Just flop Nezzy up there.
yeah, Nezzy, you're like kind of laying propped up against this crib. The sun shining overhead and little snowflakes tickling your beard, your cheeks. Your son riding with you on this float, and in the distance you hear, wah.
Barney, you haven't cried like that in some time. What's wrong with you, Barney? What's wrong with you, my boy?
It's not me, Dad. It's it's this dumb fucking cradle.
Oh, well.
Barney grew up 10 years that day.
Barney's had a day and a week and a month.
He tried crime out for a little bit, and this is all that rubbed off on him.
So when the one place that Tremolo thinks to go is Dynamic Industries, because they have like everything. Would he know if they? I mean, you know, he's looked at signs and stuff to see like the different departments and everything like that. But
You
they
do have a punch card on you.
Yeah.
You could ask the robot if he can read it.
Well, my question is about if Dynamic Industries is a place that that Nezzy could get medical care.
Yeah, they definitely have, because there's a lot of accidents that happen there with the mechanics and engineering. Like, they definitely have somebody on staff. They definitely have a med bay, for sure.
Cool. And I would have seen that on the lists of like, oh, this
Yeah.
way for that. And stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Because that was like knee-jerk reaction where he would wanted to go. And that's cool that, you know, he would know that information.
I mean, you could
So-
also take him to Vexenhall.
The mansion. I don't think anyone
I'm sorry, what was that? No? You don't want to do
trust-
that?
don't trust that doctor. That,
Okay.
Yeah,
what
I
is
just
he?
think
He's a
I'm
I'm
scientist.
pretty sure he would enjoy
Yeah.
having Nezzy die. Oh, such a shame.
Such a
Ah,
shame.
well, I can
Such a
hide his
nice,
body in the
warm
basement.
body.
I'm going to
I
do
keep
the
buying
best that I
body off
can.
of
We'll see what God
But
wills.
you know, if Nezzy dies, I'm taking him to Vexenhall.
If he doesn't make it.
Because I think there's some Frankenstein stuff happening down there.
Yeah. Tremolo pulls out the punch card. He doesn't have a punch card for Dynamic Industries.
Oh, you didn't have one that goes back, right? Oh, that's right. No, you don't. I'm sorry.
So he looks through his
But you
punch
have one that
card.
goes to the church, which is really close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So yeah,
I'll
Heads
I'll
up.
help.
Yeah, no. He looks at the punch cards, and I'll say what I was gonna say. He looks at the punch cards and says, "Well, these are fucking useless," and he throws them out the window.
And as you throw them out, Sallie reaches out and grabs one and be like, "Can you take us to the Church of the New Modernity?" That was one of these, right?
Church of the New Modernity.
Does
Uh,
the church have any? Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. And the robot like takes its fingers and it starts running its fingers through all the hole punches, like it's reading Braille.
Sexual.
Oh.
Hey, whoa.
I was thinking Braille too. I don't know where you went,
Whoa.
Nathan.
Not Nathan. Tremolo went there.
Oh,
Nathan had no
better.
sexual
Better.
Tremolo has also done a lot of growing up over the last 12
Over the last
episodes.
24 hours, yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of scans it and it starts driving. It is a race against time.
Well, the whole time Tremolo just keeps talking about it. I mean, really, Braille is just like rubbing over top. You don't go through the holes. I mean, why are you poking at him?
But
It's
is
very
like
sexual behavior. Say what?
I said it was like Braille. What the fuck? The robot is like driving, going like,
You don't
"Listen,
need
did
to
you want me to read
be,
this card or no?" Like,
speciesist about Braille, Tremolo. That's strike 2.
that's right too. Everybody's got so many strikes.
I've lost track of strikes.
Striked up.
I
just
almost
listened
told
to
him
that
it was
episode.
strike
Tremolo
3.
Tremolo
but-
totally has 2 strikes already. You all, this robot's driving as quickly as you can, and you guys are going through these streets, and you can just see like every rooftop has robots standing on top of them,
Like, doing
and
what?
now it's like quiet.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah. And you're the only car that's driving through these streets.
Are there people in the window? Like, there are people inside? Can we? Yeah. Do we
You
see
can see
signs of
some
life?
people. Every once in a while, you
was
see
gonna-
some people looking outside the windows.
What I was going to ask is, I feel like if we're going by pretty fast, but if we ever see anybody like writhing in the street, I think
Yeah.
we stop and we throw them on the
The
parade
float. I agree.
Yeah. The streets are mostly clear. You do see dead bodies. Not a lot.
So we
I mean,
don't see
you're
anybody
going
that.
like one
my
every
gosh. Oh my gosh.
one every 10 blocks or so. Like you'll see one like and you start driving. You get to
Do we
this.
end up seeing anybody that needs help?
No.
Oh.
At this point, because you're so far, like whatever has happened has already happened. Like there's been enough time that if somebody was wounded, somebody got that person, or that person, you're seeing the end of that person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you drive up to this gate, the gated area for the travelator, and there is a service gate for cars. And it's wide open, like
Yeah.
the chain has been broken. And you start driving down that, and you're able to direct this robot. Like, we're not going to the Church of New Modernity. We're going down this path towards Dynamic Industries. And it takes you about 15 minutes from here, driving around these winding roads. And you see Dynamic Industries looks completely silent.
There are a lot of robots in there. Mr. Babbitt's dad, do you think that if you had the right tools that you could help Nezzy?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
All right, well, let's go in then, guys. Tremolo, you lead the way to the...
So are we?
Sick bay.
Have we pulled in and we've parked?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And Tremolo, at this point, your HP is back to full, as much as it is. But yeah,
One.
it's
No.
one now.
Big one. Okay. So he takes them up the stairs, and there's no oboe or anything, right?
Yeah, the whole place is empty. Like there's no robots.
Are there lines on the ground that lead to the?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
yeah. You follow the red line to the medical area.
So yeah, we do that. So he walks in like, yeah, guys, yeah, totally follow me. And then he gets up there and he's like, mid bay, red line. Yeah, it's this way here. He just keeps his head
Staring
the
down
whole
at the
time.
ground.
Red line.
Yeah, you're following this weave of red lines throughout this building, and you make your way to a med bay and this medical facility, and you can see like it looks like it's been ransacked a little bit. You can see like some of the carts have been overturned, some of the glass windows have been broken that house like medicine. And Babbitt goes to the to like one of the beds and props it upright, and you all get Nezzy up on top of it, and the doctor says, I just need a little bit of time.
Okay. We'll give it to you.
Nezzy's mumbling some sea shanties, but his voice is just kind of getting weaker as he does it.
The first thing he does is he goes to that medicine cabinet and finds something specific that he puts in a syringe and starts to come over to you. This is going to put you to sleep for a little bit.
Okie dokie.
And
Barney, why don't you come over here with Tremolo? We're gonna give your dad some space, okay? He needs
Okay.
to rest.
let's see how this doctor does.
He's a foot doctor.
I'm a pediatrician.
Pediatrician would work, kind of.
I don't know. Okay. All right. Nezzy, hours pass. While this is happening, what are you guys doing? Are you guys just hanging out?
I go and check in Felina's office, see if Felina's there in her office.
Felina's door's open, but there is no Felina.
There never was. The way you said that, there never was a Felina.
It reminds
You
me
open the
of There
door
is no
and you
Dana,
see-
only Zool.
You open the door and you see this placard, and it says, "In memory of Felina Robertson, who died 30 years ago."
That portal!
So he looks in there and he's legitimately looking for her at first, but then he's like, "Oh, everyone's gone, and there's plenty of wine." So he goes and gets in her cabinet.
Oh, he doesn't go through the notes and do all of the research he wanted to do. He's like, wine.
Yeah.
I want to be more purple.
Yep, no research needed now.
Yeah, we're done with that, Gail. We're on a different
Fuck all
story now.
this.
I thought he was
We're in
going
the
to try and figure out
robot
how to
pop-up story.
override the automatons or something. I asked Babbitt what he's been up to.
Reconnected with my family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took some time out to go back to where I grew up. And
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up at the bank for wayward youths.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
How-
my father invested me when I was a kid.
Yeah? How was that experience?
That's how I got my job.
With the alderman?
Yeah.
And did you like it?
It almost got me killed.
Yeah.
Tremolo walks by and hands both of them a bottle of wine each. He's
Yeah.
got a third under his arm, and he's just kind of walking by, handing those to them, and he keeps walking down the hallway in a different direction. But he hands it to them. Is like, yeah, he was a henchman, Sallie. Good God.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be.
And he walks away.
See, Barney, I mean, you try to be a good citizen and they still just like mess up your life anyway.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of conflicting reports as to what it is I'm supposed to do with my life, actually. So
You know what? You can do whatever you want. I mean, we're trying to keep you safe and we'll keep trying, but if you don't want to be safe, I guess you don't really have to.
thanks.
Could you stick around and let your dad know that you're safe at least?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, good. You want a drink? You only get a
No.
little.
No.
Okay.
Actually, could you just tell me like all the different things that you do in general so I can not do those things?
Well. And I start
thus
telling
begins
him
thus begins the life story of Sallie Hill.
of Sallie Hill.
And that is how we time montage
Through all of that.
It all started with my
To the
pig named
evening.
Hamster.
Yeah. that'll be the spin-off show is Sally's story. Yeah, it's that evening and Nezzy, you are dreaming of the ocean and you're on this boat. The wind at your face, that salty smell of the sea. You can see the sun on the horizon. And there's no buildings, there's no honking of cars, there's no electric hackway buzzing in your ear. You got one hand on the wheel of this ship and another one resting on your son's shoulder. And you can see members of the crew are working. It's Sallie. It's Tremolo. You see Babbitt. This guy comes over with a map and he's saying, I believe that if we, head down this course right here, that we'll make it over to that island by the end of this evening. And he's just making sure you're checking off on the coordinates.
Of course, Ralph. You always keep us going steady.
And he rushes off. Captain says we're heading this way. We got to go that way. And you can see different members of the crew looking back at you, smiling. See Ronnie's dad, whose name you have no idea what it is.
No.
And then you wake up. And it's dark. There's no lights on. But you can feel a hand in your hand. And it's the hand of Barney. He's asleep.
I just kind of look over and kind of try and shake off whether or not this is even real right now. And then I squeeze his hand tightly. See if he'll wake up to it.
He stirs and wakes up and he says, "Are you okay, Dad?"
I just had the best dream I've ever had. I think I'm okay.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You fought really hard to get me back.
Yeah. I'm sorry I haven't always been there, but I hope at least that can show you just how much you mean to me. And
how much I need you to be safe.
Did you always feel that way? Even when you were gone?
I think I always felt that you'd be a better man without me around. Somehow tricking myself to thinking I was doing right by you by not being there to corrupt you. But I was just being a coward, Barney.
That's what I thought. I used to go to sleep every night calling you a coward.
You weren't wrong. I have always been searching for something to tell me the direction I need to be heading instead of just heading the ship myself. And I need to stop trusting in tarot cards and magic balls and just do what I know is right. And I think it might have taken almost dying for me to realize that.
The doctor says that we'll know if you're going to be okay in a couple days. But he thinks that the infection's not going to set in.
That's great. That's great.
Do you think you could teach me how to sail?
Yeah. Yeah. There's not too many things I know how to do well, but that's one of them.
Outside the room, Sallie, Tremolo, you all can hear this conversation. You all can hear this conversation happening. It's a little muffled. How much you want to actually hear it is up to you.
I kind of Tremolo messes up a note, and then that's when you realize that he'd been playing his violin the whole time. Yeah,
that was
with
his.
with a bottle of wine between his legs. He's just been playing out in the hall.
That wasn't
underscored that whole thing.
That wasn't me scoring it. That was Tremolo scoring it the whole time. Yeah, Sallie, what are you doing?
If it's dark, I've probably kind of drifted off, but I do hear them start to speak, and I'm hoping that it's okay. I'm hoping that that's a good sign that he woke up. I'm scared out of my wits. This is a whole new world.
Yeah.
But you know, Sallie didn't really like the old one. It's kind of what she's thinking. She's always about getting rid of the old. Sabotaging it, if you will. So she's just kind of trying to think through what this means. She's also been going through her bag and organizing it. I now get a 2 out of 6 chance of finding what I'm looking for.
Nice.
In one room, we see Sallie sitting on the ground in the hallway. An entire bag of a life of crime splayed out between her legs as she's sorting through bits of mechanical equipment that may become in use in this increasingly strange new world. Tremolo sits at a table with the doctor and Babbitt, candlelight, and some apple pie that was procured from the automat at the cafeteria. Playing his violin, his fingers squishing on the strings soaked in rosé. And in another room, a father and son make plans for a future that neither of them are quite certain will be there for them tomorrow. And these are the people that we leave behind in Hackway Heights as we drift off into the sky, into the stars, and stare down at the world below, being thankful that we got to watch this incredible story. The end. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Man. Thank you all so much for playing along. Thank you all if you watched from episode 1 to episode 12. I appreciate it so much. This is one of my favorite things I've ever been a part of in my life, and I've done a lot of pretty cool shows and a lot of shitty ones, and this is by far one of the most satisfying experiences I've ever had. So thank you all. GetOutAdept.com will be announcing later again what game we're playing next, and soon you'll get to meet that cast, those characters, and we're going to tell another story, and another after that, and another after that. Thank you very much. Good night.